And so we're gonna have a little fun here. So, what's your favorite Dominican dish?
I would say, and if I got anybody from Puerto Rico in here, they're gonna say it's not Dominican, but I like mofongo. I like mofongo. But, and I know it's a Puerto Rican dish, but they eat it a lot here in Dominican Republic. But a Dominican dish that I really like is lo creole.
What is it?
Lo creole.
Lo creole.
Yeah, which is just chicken and rice.
Okay.
That's it.
And I know that you're a big cook. So can you actually prepare that dish?
No.
Are there any Dominican dishes that you can prepare, that you know how to prepare, that you say that you're a master at?
Mango.
To be honest with you, I have never tried. I mean, my wife always cooks the Dominican food, you know. So when it's time to cook Dominican food, I just leave it to the experts.
Okay. So what advice, would you give foreigners thinking about moving to DR? Like, what's the biggest piece of advice that you would give to foreigners that are thinking about moving to the Dominican Republic?
And I would just preface this for Americans: leave your American mentality in America and bring it over to mine.
Yeah, that's a tough one, but after living in abroad and for a minute, you become more relaxed, more patient, and you're more forgiving, I guess, because they're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna take a little longer to do stuff, so you just gotta flow with it. As Berea says, just flow.
I've noticed that, and I used to be that way. I used to let things bother me, but once I stopped letting the small things bother me,
That's right.
I started enjoying the place a lot more. Like, I get in traffic and, my wife would be, stumping her feet and I'm just whistling.
Yeah, at this point you laughing.
I'm laughing.
You laughing
at that part.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking, well, I don't have anywhere to be. I don't have anywhere no place I have to actually be, so why am I worried about sitting in traffic?
You're a visitor.
And you're a visitor,
Yeah.
right? And just because you're spending $2,500 a month, that don't mean you have that much influence on what's going to go on in this country, right? So you need to relax.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about building a network, building friends, not enemies. So, if you could change anything about your experience, what would you change?
Not a damn thing.
Good deal.
And
So-
I say that because, every little experience, I've learned from. And, like Jim Rohn said, he said, you can change, you can learn through, joy and inspiration, or you can learn through pain and suffering. And so, but either way, you're gonna learn.
So, does any audience members, conference attendees, any of you guys have any questions? We're gonna open up the floor to you guys if you have any
You did a
questions.
great
to
job,
ask.
Omar. Great job.
Thank you. Did I do a good Arsenio impression?
You did an amazing job.
Let me just tell you, this conference could end now. He got to sit with James. He was going to come It could end right now. You were
I don't know why you messing with me on this subject.
I owe you that, honey. No, but I just want to say one thing. James provided us with gems in this interview. He said many things that really, if you apply it, it would make the experience of transitioning completely different. Okay, I would dare say smoother. Like when he talks about acclimating to the country and not coming with a critical attitude,
Amen.
I see that all the time. 90% of my clients have an attitude, and I love this particular phrase, that's not how they do it in the US. I'm like, newsflash, you're in a different country. The last time I checked, you had to pay a plane ticket and cross the Atlantic. You're in a different country, so just let go of that. You know, that's the kind of attitude that doesn't let people appreciate the good things about the DR, so you have to come with an open mind. The other thing I like about his Tupac CDs, let me tell you something, guys. Getting used to a new country doesn't mean you have to forget your roots. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. I will never do wicker furniture. You hear me? Ever. I don't do wicker. Okay, so even though you're relocating, for those of you who are planning to do that, you can still hold on to your roots, your music, your furniture, how you like to furnish a place, you know? I happen to like, what's the name of that catalog? My goodness, in the US, I forgot all that, it's been 20 years.
JCPenney?
No, and you need to leave this conference right now. Get them. I can't remember the name of the place. It was a catalog. I used to get it every week. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But when I furnish my house, I still, you know, have my taste of how I furnish back home. You know, so it seems like you're in the States. So you can still hold on to your roots, to your music, you know, and still appreciate the Dominican culture. Because some people is like, now it's all bachata and merengue, and maybe that's not you. So, and then the other thing I appreciated about the interview, common sense people. You can't go to a bad neighborhood, start counting cash in public and think nothing's gonna happen. When you call things to happen to you because you're not exercising good judgment, you can't blame the country for that.
Right.
Okay.
You can do that in the United States.
I'm telling you,
And all of the folks who be having
they come
problems.
here and start doing things they never do back home. It's like, you know.
And when something happens to them, they don't tell the whole story. They don't tell that they were in the hood.
You know, this man married a man that he knows for 15 years. They have a very good relationship. But if you're gonna marry somebody you met 2 months ago and you don't speak the language, you have to expect what's coming next. So all of a sudden, it's not the DR out to get foreigners. You have to exercise, and we talk about this, right? Omar and I went on a rant for about an hour in our YouTube channel. We went off. And so this interview is from an expat who's actually living here, married to a Dominican, and lives a very good life. Okay, so these are the interviews you should look at. These are the people you should talk to with the right mental attitude. Okay, you want to be careful that your due diligence doesn't lead you to people, you know, that they don't have the right attitude. They're not approaching relocation from a realistic point of view. Okay, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe that's not the country for me. No, it's not the country for the person you're talking to. It may be the perfect country for you. So, thank you, James. This was awesome.